It's Saturday morning. That means croissant sandwiches in this house. We're going to be making a croissant egg sandwich with bacon, cherry tomatoes, and green onions for our morning feast. So let's get started. All right, so for each sandwich, we're going to be taking one egg for each one. Just have regular large eggs. Today we have cherry tomatoes. Not what we would normally use. I think my preference would probably be for like a Roma tomato or maybe a beefsteak tomato, but this is what we have today, so that's what we're working with. And we have our green onions that we just got off of our homegrown little pot over there, so I'll have to dice these up. And we have these croissants, which we got from Costco. They're pretty nice. They're not, you wouldn't really expect Costco to have this nice of croissants, but they're pretty good. They're nice and flaky. We'll get those toasting in our air fryer. We also have Gouda cheese that we're gonna be putting on there. We also have the bacon going in the background, so the only last thing that I haven't included would be my personal homemade chipotle mayo sauce. It's like a chipotle adobo mayo with lime juice, fresh garlic, all that good stuff. We will be putting that on last. So we're gonna start by dicing up our green onions. And since we cut them so high, we can throw these in to our eggs as we cook them. They don't really have the hard white part at the bottom really. So I'm going to have our cherry tomatoes, and if I've learned anything from some of your videos, I am going to salt them to not have them be overly runny when we put them in the sandwich. No one likes a super runny tomato, making everything just sloppy and wet when it doesn't need to be, but we want those different textures in there. The cherry tomatoes give it a little bit of different flavor than the Romas or the beefsteaks. It gives it a little bit that sweetness. So next, we're gonna cut up we have Gouda cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and just get a couple of nice slices for each of our sandwiches. Probably doing like 2 or 3 per sandwich. Just probably, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch thick. So that's our cheese, and then the last thing we have to cut is our croissants. Now, what I like to do is, for these sandwiches, is put them so the sort of flat side is more down. It's kind of a choice each time you get one. Come over here with the knife, come right across, try to leave as much of a bottom to the croissant as I can, as equal as I can really, so each side isn't overwhelmingly large. Beautiful, nice cut. We'll do that with each. Yeah, now we're just gonna go ahead and throw our croissants into the air fryer. This is basically an air fryer toaster, so I like getting these edges nice and toasty before we use them for the sandwich. So we'll just put it on for 350 for maybe like 3 minutes. Just turn over. A beautiful sizzle of bacon on a Saturday morning. You'll love it. You'll love to see it. And ow, the grease of the bacon does not like to see me. Does not like to see me coming. Ow. Yes, that's exactly what we want. We want just this nice little crust inside. That's gonna make it a phenomenal different texture on top of the other flaky goodness of the croissant while we pile on all the toppings. So I'm gonna bring those over there. We got the croissants out of the toaster. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put my cheese on here so that when the egg comes out, it will just go right on there, make that nice and gooey and delicious. Melt it up. Yeah, we'll start on the eggs. I have this on low heat just for getting started. Get our eggs in there. All right, get our eggs in there. Before they start really cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and add our green onions to that. Everyone will get a nice healthy dose of green onion, and we'll kind of chop them up a little bit so that the green onion can really get in there, start cooking, really absorb all those wonderful green onion flavors. I'm gonna go ahead and add our salt. Grind some pepper. And tossing a little bit of dill for a little bit of extra sort of herby flavor. So let's get these chopped up a little bit. And what we're gonna do is try to make them into their own almost croissant-like shape. That way, when we go and lay them in, they fit perfectly. And I'll give these guys a little bit more time to cook. Flip them over so that those green onions stay nice and consistent inside the egg. And take these out. Give them a nice little drain here. Get some of that bacon grease come off. So now we're gonna go ahead and assemble. So this, get that guy on there to start melting that cheese. Then we're gonna take this bacon and get it. This one is perfect for this. Nice and crumpled up already. Really lets us help pack it on. Next up, our tomatoes. Get those in here. If they want to work with me, which it does not seem that they do. And there we go. And then the final topping is my homemade spicy mayo. And that will be my personal homemade bacon, egg and cheese croissant, but better. All right, so taste test. I mean, I know it's gonna be phenomenal. This is my go-to weekend recipe. Did you hear that crunch? That's the stuff. And the smokiness of the Gouda with the bacon, the dilly, egg, a little sweetness from the cherry tomatoes that are salted, and then of course my then the homemade chipotle mayo. It sends it over the cliff. I'll send you the recipe if you want. I will for that. I'm gonna eat this before it all falls apart though. All right.